Objective 3. Use a two-way table to compute proportions. So recall that to find a proportion, you must divide the part with the whole. So for example, the table below compares the class standings at a university with types of body art for a sample of students. Table 25, again, class standing versus types of body art. So here's the class standing. We have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and then we have the totals. So for body piercing only, we have 61 that are freshmen, 43 sophomore, 20 that are junior, 21 that are senior, and again, those are the total amount of students there for that category. For tattoos only, we have 7, 11, 9, 17, and the total for that column is 44. For body piercing and tattoos, we have 14, 10, 7, 23, and the total for that column is 54. And no body art, 56, 86, 80, 64, 43, 54, which gives us 247. So when we add up the total amount for freshmen, there's 168 students that are freshmen. If we look at sophomore, there's 128 students that are sophomore. For junior, there's a total of 79 students. And for senior, we have 115. Now, 490 represents the total amount of students out of all of them together. So our first question here to the right, it says, what proportion of those surveyed have tattoos only or no body art? Okay, well, if we look at the column that represents tattoos only, we have 44. If we look at the column of those students surveyed that have no body art, that's 247. Now remember, because it says or, this is really important because we have to put these together, so we have to add them. So 44 plus 247 is equal to 291. Now we got to take that number 291 and divide it by the total, which is 490. So 291 divided by 490 gives us approximately 0.59 as a proportion, or as a percent. We would say 59% of those surveyed have tattoos only or no body art. Okay, let's take a look at the next part. Part A. Find the proportion of those surveyed who have body piercings only. So if we go down to the bottom here, the total amount for body piercings only are 145, and we're going to compare that to the total of students. So 145 divided by 490 gives us approximately 0.30 as a proportion. Part B. Find the proportion of those surveyed who are seniors or have only tattoos. So let's take a look at this scenario. We got to be careful in this example. Okay, what do we know first? Well, we know that there's how many seniors? Well, if we look at the total amount of seniors, we have 115. Okay, and when you add those 115, you're including this 17. Okay, likewise, we're going to have to add the column that represents have only tattoos. So we're going to scroll down here and look that we have 44 students that have only tattoos. But again, you're including that 17 when you add those together. So what that means is we have to subtract at least one of those 17s so it's not repeated twice. So in order for us to get this number, we're going to take 115, add 44, and subtract 17 to give us 142. Now 142 divided by 490 gives us approximately 0.29 proportion of those surveyed who are seniors or have only tattoos. Okay, next, it says find the proportion of those surveyed who are juniors and have no body art. Now remember, and means intersection, so you're not going to include all of them. So if we take a look at juniors and we go scroll all the way here and we can see there's our juniors, and then have no body art, again there's no body art, and now where do they intersect? Well, they intersect at the number 43. So that means 43 students who are juniors and have no body art represents 43. So 43 divided by 490 gives us 0.09. So 0.09 is the proportion of those surveyed who are juniors and have no body art. Let's look at part D. Find the proportion of those surveyed who are seniors. So if we scroll all the way to the end and they're seniors, all we're looking for is the number that are seniors. So 115 divided by 490 is approximately 0.23. So 0.23 is the proportion of those surveyed who are seniors. Next, part E, it says find the proportion of those surveyed who are sophomores and have piercings only. Now again, we're dealing with and, so that is intersection. So here we have sophomore. We're going to draw a line through sophomores, and then we're going to draw a line through the column of body piercings only. Now we're going to circle where they intersect, which is 43. So that means 43 out of 490, which gives us approximately 0.09. So 0.09 represents the proportion of those surveyed who are sophomores and have piercings only. Part F. Find the proportion of those surveyed who are freshmen or no body art. Now remember, or has to include all of them. So if we look at freshmen, we're going to go ahead and scroll all the way through the line of freshmen, and we can see that we have 168 total freshmen. And if we go down the column of no body art, we can see that we have 247 that represent no body art. Now remember, we cannot add 86 twice for both the row and the column, so we have to subtract one of them. So we take 168 plus 247 minus 86, which equals 329. 329 divided by 490 gives us approximately 0.67. So 0.67 represents the proportion of those surveyed who are freshmen or no body art.